Hello friends, my name is Mander, and welcome back to Sonic Generations. Today we shall take on Shadow the Hedgehog. First appearing in Sonic Adventure 2, we take on the very similar boss fight that happened in the final chase slash final rush section of the game. Final rush meaning Sonic's level, and final chase being Shadow's level. Get a very familiar cutscene here, which actually didn't take place at this point. Now, the original boss fight was a little bit glitchy and kind of not suited for this kind of gameplay. So they modified it a little bit, giving you the goal of targeting these pink orbs that you need to collect in order to gain, I believe it would be Chaos Energy. If Sonic collects 2, he'll be able to power up and attack Shadow. If Shadow collects 2, he'll be able to power up and attack Sonic. So your goal is to charge through this crazy final chasey, final rushy sort of course, collecting the power-ups, using all the sort of rails and jump pads that you can use in order to get through. Collecting one will increase your point by 1, and you'll want to move on to the next one. Now this level is amazing. It's like there's so many different paths you can take in order to speed up yourself. And the boss fight isn't that hard. All you have to do is really just kind of clash with Shadow a little bit, trying to knock him out of the way, and then move out ahead of yourself. And yeah, I let him get that orb because I wanted to expand the boss fight a little bit longer, because otherwise it'd be kind of boring. Now I get to show off a little bit with some tricky moves and charge forward to get to that last orb. Now, when Shadow does collect the orbs, you do get to hear his theme song, which is, I believe it's All Hail Shadow. I'm not 100% sure. I don't hear that song too much because the only time I've ever heard is when I actually let him get the things to see what actually happens when he does get it. But of course, when Sonic gets it, you get to hear Live and Learn, which is nice. Now, almost got it. Just get to this rail, and here we go. Sonic power up. Now here's when you want to attack Shadow. You want to hit the meteors so that they target right in front of him. Just run into them and you'll be fine. Using side steps is very helpful here, as you don't move too fast in this thing so that you don't hit, so that it's too hard to hit the meteors. But do be paying attention to where those little green arrows are so you can see them. After you start catching up to him a little bit, you're gonna want to get right up in front of his butt and slowly drain his ring power until crunk. Shadow is down. Ugh. God. And now, while Shadow's dead in the midst of space, we'll do a little dance. Yes, rank. Not too hard of a fight. Actually, not hard at all. Not even on hard mode is this fight very difficult. But with that, we got ourselves our third Chaos Emerald. And now on to the challenge stages. For these challenge stages, I'll try to use more of classic Sonic instead of modern Sonic, because classic Sonic doesn't get a whole lot of gameplay after the first 3 stages. That SPO challenge is pretty interesting. You have to try to target lights in order to shine on him so that he'll be revealed, like a ninja. Now, classic Sonic fights, a lot of them have to do with old power-ups and enemies, but I decided I'm going for not this one. Go for this one. This is the high-speed challenge, which involves collecting high-speed boxes in order to get through the stage as quickly as possible. It's a pretty easy stage. There's not a whole lot of traps, and you get to go pretty fast, as well as only real challenges are just a few little reaction jumps that you have to time pretty well. Unfortunately, there's no change in music, which is kind of sad. Of course, you do kind of get a faster version of the original song, but I would have liked to hear a different song. Anyway, charging through here, a lot of string pads, a lot of boost pads, a lot of fairly easy platforming, not a very difficult stage at all. Not a whole lot to say about stage. It is Speed Highway, and it's a fairly different version of Speed Highway. So what I like about these challenge stages is that all the stages are pretty much what I would call like a remixed version of every stage. As there's different obstacles. You never really go through the level the same way you would normally, except for like a doppelganger level, which is basically just time trials. Now we're almost done with this level, and I kind of screwed up in this part. If I had landed on these platforms properly, I would have gotten the S rank, but oh well. You don't really need S ranks, they're not that important. Except for an achievement, I believe. No. Now I'm trying to rush through here, trying to get that S rank, but unfortunately not fast enough, but not too bad of a time. Next, we'll move on to the City Escape challenge, which is actually a pretty fun challenge, the one I chose. And it takes a while for me to decide which challenge, but I think I will cut to where I actually get to the challenge. So once I pick my challenge, I'll meet you back at the gate. And here we go. Skateboard challenge. So I didn't really hit the skateboards very well in the original level. I thought I'd choose this one since it's a pretty fun level as well. And it's pretty much something or other. Anyway, still no remixes of classic songs. You still get the regular City Escape song, but oh well, it's a fun level. You can do tricks off those jump pads in order to get yourself a little bit higher. Classic Sonic trap right there, except not as extreme as the older ones. Now, this stage isn't very long, unfortunately. It's kind of a bummer since the skateboarding is actually really fun to do. And we're actually almost done. Luckily, there's no giant gun trucks trying to chase after us. You run over here, and coming over this point. Hop. Trust me, and we will escape from the city. This is kind of a weird use of spring pads, all these. But I guess since you can't really control the way you're going, spring pads are a necessity. And we are done. I just hit that S rank, that was pretty good. Of course, once again, not a very difficult stage at all. The real challenge in stages comes with the doppelganger missions, where you have to get like really good times in order to get S ranks. And I'm not going to go chase after that node, it'll come chasing after me. Grab the key, and I will meet you at the next stage in Seaside Hill. Alright, here we go, finally. Didn't realize how long I was messing around in this area. Trick challenge. In this challenge, your goal is to go through all the trick rings and trick jumps in order to get as many tricks as possible in order to finish the level, I guess, is what you would call it. Just basically get 35, I think, tricks and finish the level. Pretty simple. Now, there are tons of trick jumps as well as trick rings to choose from and tons of different paths. The path I take, I believe, is pretty fast, actually. I'm not exactly sure what the fastest path is, but it's not too difficult of an S rank. I actually don't get the S rank here because I botched it up at the end real quick. But yeah. You want to go off the gold trick jumps, because otherwise you want to actually be able to do tricks. Now, my speed boost meter is ginormous right now, and I missed that part, which is disappointing. And I want to get to that ring, but I don't realize that I'm already too late at being able to get through there, and I try going here, and then I'm like, screw that, going down here. And we get to go to the wonderful 2D section. Little wall jumpy action, more tricks. Boost pad is growing insanely massive. Finally blasting through that little annoying checkpoint. Coming over here, getting myself the last few tricks I need before I can finally just run through the rest of the level. And there we go, 35 tricks, that's all I need. Any more is just sort of extra. Coming into the last section, which I should have been running through those boxes, not breaking the wall, but oh well. Don't want to be down there right about now. Coming over here, want to go through that trick pad. Through it, and done. Not too horrible, but not very great at the same time. And with that, we've got all 3 keys as soon as I collect the last one. And then we can take on the boss. Now, as far as the boss in the Dreamcast era, there are 3 games we can choose from: Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Adventure 1. The final boss of Sonic Adventure 2, what is it called? Experiment Lizard, Bio-Lizard? Is it called Bio-Lizard? I think that's the one that, I think that's Shadow's boss fight. Anyways, the Bio-Lizard fight is actually featured in the 3DS version of this game, which is actually a Shadow fight, so I don't know why they chose that one. But the Sonic Heroes final boss is Metal Sonic, whom we've already faced, and there's also another Eggman fight, but that would be kind of boring if there were 3 Eggman fights. Oops, spoiled the last fight. And then that leaves Sonic Adventure 1. Final boss, Perfect Chaos. Let's go for it. Perfect Chaos. But wait, how are we supposed to beat this guy? Sonic can only do that as Super Sonic in the original game. How are we going to do this with all the Chaos Emeralds? In the Perfect Chaos boss fight, you have to go through these paths in order to get up close to Perfect Chaos, in which you can boost up into him in a very fine, flashy way, and just deal some damage to him. Now, clearly this boss fight indicates that modern Sonic is a lot more powerful than Dreamcast Sonic, in the fact that he can take down Perfect Chaos without even the need to go Super. Very interesting. Sonic's actually gotten stronger over the years. Of course, we hear the original rock track, Open Your Heart, from the original boss fight. The boss fight's been modified very much so. Instead of just charging through a path of water and cars, you're going off these side paths, doing a little 2D platforming, running away from Perfect Chaos's aqua tentacles, and getting up real close in tons of flashy ways. Now, I believe you only need to hit him 4 times, or maybe 5. Although I think this is the last... Oh, yeah. There's our last checkpoint before we have to take him out for good. We've got one more hit after this one. Now, this is a pretty easy fight, actually. There's not a whole lot, except for this part. This part can get kind of glitchy. Well, not really glitchy, just kind of unfair. Now, if you land in the water, instant death, because you're not going to be able to get off the platform. The only way to save yourself is to boost, and you'll boost forward, not in front of any path you really take. And some of these sections can be kind of difficult with all the different moving platforms, and I tend to fall in little tiny cracks, annoyingly. Like right there, I actually hit the roof of that one and would fall to my death. I'll start all over. But luckily I didn't do that this time. And we go. Wonderful. Perfect Chaos definitely got an upgrade in this fight, because he looks a lot better than he did in the Dreamcast version. He used to be just completely water and didn't have all that armor, scaly stuff. Perfect bonus. Of course, I did not make a perfect run of that. I died like twice in the beginning.
You've brought back quite a bit of this world. You're doing great, Sonic. You mean you're doing great, Sonics? Right. I may never get used to that.
Well, good thing we won't have to see you again.
Oh!
I know my classic Tails.
Watch out!
That monster sure didn't like that emerald. Those things have come in handy in the past. We've already got a couple, but we need that emerald. Sonic, you should go over there and check it out. I bet you can bring that Chaos Emerald back just like you brought back our friends. And I bet you double we're gonna need all 7 emeralds.
I don't have Sonic talk enough in
You
this
guys
in these
have your work
cutscenes.
cut out for you.
An adventure's no fun if it's too easy.
That was literally his only line in the entire cutscene. Anyway, with that, we've gotten the 4th Chaos Emerald, with only a rival fight, a boss fight, and a sort of final emerald to grab before we have them all. And then we can take on our final boss. So, next time on Sonic Generations, we're going to be taking on the modern generation of Sonic games. So long.